Hello and welcome.
Yes, hello. I'm Johannes, and you are.
I'm Lewis.
So, Lois, what are we going to be talking about today? What are you going to show me?
We have got a very exciting three-part series on Microsoft Edge, which is just what everyone has been asking for. I know.
No way.
So, we got three parts to this. The first part is going to be a general overview of Microsoft Edge for Business and why you should use it. Part two will be how an admin configures Edge ready for business. And then part three is what you as an end user will see once those configurations are in place and how you get to use Edge if you're using something like Chrome or Firefox.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So to avoid death by PowerPoint, we have a PowerPoint here, and I'll go through some of the key bits that I like about Edge. We won't stop for too long on every single slide, but we're just going to have a chat about moving to Edge and why it's important or why it's useful for an admin in a business.
Yep.
So, browsers enterprise, we know that most work, or about half of the work people do now, is in a browser. Office is in the web. SaaS apps are in the web. That might be your HR system, your account software. We're moving away from on premise software to the browser. I mean, Johannes, how much do you think you use a browser at work in a day?
Um, More than half of my day, easily more than half. Sometimes it's the only app I use, to be honest.
Yeah,
Mm,
I would say it's the same for me. I mean, even what we're using to record this video right now is in a browser. And we
exactly.
signed up and we've been recording within sort of 15 minutes of owning the platform or being subscribed to it. So it's very quick, but it's all in the browser. Of course, if it's in a browser, it means people can work from anywhere. That presents some security challenges. How do we lock it down? This is where Edge for Business comes in, because what we can do is give somebody a single pane of glass to get to the web and browse websites, and also lock that down through the corporate account. So everyone gets the same experience. The admin configures it in one place, and you can control the data flow in and out with conditional access policies.
Doesn't it make the single sign-on portion way easier as well?
Yeah, exactly. So we can look at that in some of the demos we do. The single sign-on benefit is the end user is signed into a browser that IT controls, and that account being linked to the browser can access any of the apps that are ready for single sign-on. So if I'm signed into Edge and I want to get to office.com, it knows who I am. It doesn't need to ask me to sign in.
Neat.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier, and it's one of those things where it's security without you knowing it's secure, and the end user experience therefore is frictionless. So there's a few points on here which are made out in this deck. So we protect the user's devices, protect business data, and enable people to do things what they need to do wherever they are. It's a web browser. Not only that, the protection stack from Defender is built into Edge, and you can use Defender Smart Screen. And also there are features like typo squat and protection as well, which you can see at the bottom right, where if you misspell a website, it will attempt to point you in the right direction again. With most people working in browsers every day, let's take the example I use quite a lot, where somebody might be trying to find a piece of software to do some work, like convert a PDF. Smart Screen might be the first thing that prevents that user from, first of all, navigating to the suspicious website, but also blocking them from downloading something that is malware. Talking about protecting data, with the increase in AI, we need some way to containerize that, having it all in one place for the admin to review, lock down, and we can explore that in the Microsoft 365 admin portal later on. But what it allows us to do is block unwanted AIs so that we can stick people or kind of restrict people to using Copilot if that's what the business has allowed. It's a web browser. You can use it on any device, including BYOD. You can protect it on mobile using Intune app protection policies, and you can link it to Entra access, private access, internet access too. The other thing to note, I guess, as well, if we're talking about compatibility, is if you've got really old legacy apps that need Internet Explorer still. I know it's 2025 now, but Java's still around, Silverlight is still being used in some places. You can configure Internet Explorer mode, which is baked into Edge again.
And
So
it's all seamless as well, right?
yeah,
The user doesn't really know. They just open up the corporate browser and they can get work done in the, they can get work done.
yeah, and so as an admin, you can configure the list of corporate bookmarks and have them across the top for everyone. So everyone has a consistent experience. Now we're talking about AI, everyone's favorite topic. Copilot is Microsoft's AI LLM. To get the best out of Copilot, you can use Edge. There are other ways to do it in other browsers, but if you just want the full first party experience, Edge is the best way to get that. Tab grouping, this is quite a new feature where you can have lots of tabs open, and if it's too messy, you can get Edge to try and group them for you, and it will try to best pick the groups to put them in for you as well.
So I can finally get some control over those 200 tabs that I have open all the time.
Yeah, I've never been a person to have more than like 15 tabs open, but I know there are people that have like 400. It's a lot. Also vertical tabs as well, so you can check
Yeah, I
that out.
use that all the time. It's really neat.
And Microsoft Editor as well. I'll give a shout out for that because I'm not sure it's in his deck, but if you use third-party spelling and grammar checkers, well, you get one that comes with business standard or above called Microsoft Editor. You can enable that as well. And you can also brand it to make it look like it's your business. What is useful sometimes is to make sure that the things that people are logging into for work are branded as such, so they appear familiar, so that they're not entering credentials in the wrong place.
There is also a sense of familiarity that you're now doing work in a work browser and that you're not, merging together your personal life and your professional life.
Yeah, like it's very easy to accidentally save your eBay credentials on the wrong browser, and you go home and you have to reset the password because it's saved on the wrong profile or whatever it might be. So yeah, that work-life balance, that's kind of the argument I use to kind of push people to use Edge for work and Chrome for personal if they want to do that.
Yeah.
So you have got that line. I was going to say that one of my favorite bits about Edge and Bing is that if I need to find a document, and this is where this work search thing is here on the right, if there's any reference in that document, like an invoice number or a company name, you can actually search that in Bing or search that in the Windows 10 or 11 start menu, and it will open a corporate search result to everything that you have access to in SharePoint and OneDrive. And sometimes I get comments of, how have you found that file so fast? It's because I'm using Bing Work Search. It's all linked. Contextual link opening is quite useful. If you open a link from a certain account in Outlook, it will pop open the correct Edge profile automatically. So you can have, as I do, I have a personal profile for Edge with my Microsoft account, and then I have my commercial Microsoft 365 account. And if I'm using Outlook, it just knows what to open stuff in. It's quite useful.
Yeah, I've used the contextual link thing through Teams quite a lot. It helps with, it helps me with, because I only use like one screen for work. So I don't have to switch between apps. Now I can continue the conversation while looking at the thing that you sent me, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's useful if you jump in multiple tenants like we do, or if you work in the managed service provider industry where you might be expected to do that. It's useful. Yeah, it's just a quick overview of why we think you should use Edge in the business. It's secure, it's consistent, it's familiar. It's one thing you have to worry about as an admin.
But don't worry, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of how this actually works, how to get you going. So don't worry about it. That's the next video. So for now, goodbye.